Thanks a lot to everyone who's tuning in. Let's go ahead and get started with episode 6, Paper Cuts.
I actually started playing when I was around 16 or 17 in high school. I'm 24 now, so when the game first came out, I played for about 2 or 3 years. When I first played him, I was probably around 16 or 17 years old, and it was one of my first tournaments, and he actually wasn't that great back in the day. It's kind of brash, he talked about his smack, but then when he blew up, and I saw him at UMass, I had no idea it was him. I thought it was just some random really good kid. What's your handle on Smash Wars? And he was like, oh, Korean DJ. I was like, holy crap. Like the legendary Korean DJ? Next.
I thought I was decent in Melee because I'd been playing since I was like 11. I had read about Korean DJ, not knowing who he actually was. I landed one hit and got wrecked.
He got 5%!
He's always been, I guess, quirky. Like, he'll do things that people don't expect. And that's
Yeah, Amazing
one of the
Shadow. I
reasons
think there's a few
he took
people that are
everyone by
making a living
surprise.
off Smash.
KDJ went from nothing to the biggest stage Melee had ever known in less than a year. A year full of upsets and innovation, new rivals and old comebacks, all culminating in a match forever
That
defining
link just
him
goes to
and
the
the game he came
imager
to
list of
master.
images. It doesn't for me. For me, it works properly, so that's weird. You're. You guys are funny.
Oh, that's gonna do it! The finals go to PC Chris, winner of the New York City season opener.
Pizza Chris was the first of the young kids. They were all young, and they were different than Ken and Az and Isaac.
So this is the story I want to tell about Korean DJ, and why it's so funny, that how fast he got good. He got good way faster than PC or M2K did. And the example I use of that, I would say maybe a month before the MLG New York opener of 2006, which is of course where PC defeated Ken and started the revolution, all that. About a month before that, I was traveling to a tournament with Team Ben, Oro, husband and wife, and Oro was talking about how he was planning on going to New England for Smash, or like he was visiting New England and he was going to a tournament while he happened to be there or something like that. And as like a put down, he was like, I need to find a good teammate before I end up having to team with someone like KDJ or something, Korean DJ or something. And he meant that as like an insult, because Korean DJ was not that good. He like had he had been to a few tournaments. He was like one of those people that you just write off like, oh, this guy's just average. He'll probably always just be an average to decent player at best. And so that's why Oro said that as like, you know, as an insult basically to Korean DJ. And then a month later at the MLG 2006 opener, Korean DJ money matched me and beat my ass. And I believe he also beat me in the tournament. Who did I lose to? Yeah, I lost to PC and M2K actually. The new kids were too good, but KDJ beat me in a money match at MLG 2006 opener, and this was less than a month. And Oro was already like arguably the weakest member of Team Ben, probably because of his character Samus, but he was already, you know, a lot worse than me at the time comparatively. But he's talking smack about Korean DJ, and then a month later Korean DJ is suddenly good. Like, it was really ridiculous how fast he just suddenly came to the forefront as not just like, oh, this guy's getting good, but like, damn, this guy's suddenly like a contender for one of the best players.
They, or even myself and husband, they were a different breed. PC Chris paved the way for Korean DJ and Mewtwo King.
All three of them basically came to prominence at the same time. PC had kind of, started developing on a little bit earlier. M2K had gone to some local tournaments around here even. He wasn't like at that level yet. He didn't have any level of mind games really. He was just relying totally on his knowledge of tech skill. Korean DJ, we just didn't hear about at all.
First orchestra meeting I had was absolutely horrifying because I couldn't read sheet music. I just played by ear. For some reason, I became the concert master of the orchestra. And I just went from this guy who just has absolutely no idea how to read sheet music to becoming the concert master in 4 years. I was like, I don't know how that happened.
Yeah, Korean DJ was very unknown.
My dad was like the CEO of his own like clothing store called J City, and it was really successful. We had many chains up in Boston. We were actually thinking about extending it to like New England. I remember it was second grade. My dad and my mom went to a business trip down in Florida. My dad had to go pick up some shipments, some jeans from China that he had imported. One of my dad's friends gave him a referral. It's called, this guy can give you a ride. The guy went to a bar, and he was pretty hammered. He dozed off on the wheel, crashed into a concrete wall. Doctors were like, no, this guy has only like a 10% chance of living. As a second grader, you don't really understand the magnitude of how serious things are. He just wouldn't give up. Like, he just didn't care. He just wanted to just get better. Just to see that happen, it's really inspirational. Like to see him like going through all this stuff. My father was in the hospital and recovering. My mom had to go to work, so most of the time I was by myself. A lot of the things that I did to really pass the time was like video games.
I think the first series tournament he went to was the one.
It's so weird how Unknown Force would hold his controller up like that.
Crew. It was the Ninja Turtles. It was Crazy Jones, Hayato,
I'm 6'2",
Roga,
Milkman.
Eve, Unknown Force.
He understood the game like
get it right
decently well, but you would never have guessed he was going to be one of the
best
best players.
That's Marcus, his teammate. They were Team Rush Hour, which I don't think is mentioned in the documentary, but it's pretty funny.
At that point,
I was
for obvious reasons.
I was getting like maybe 9th place in my local tournaments. It was like decent, but I wasn't satisfied. I wrote down a list of all the people around me. Who's better than me? It was like a ladder process. I do it step by step by step by step by step.
I went to a tournament on the East Coast randomly, but I didn't have a partner. I asked around on boards, and one guy offered. His name was Korean DJ.
And this was when he wasn't so good, and I was fucking excellent.
I was like, let me just kind of keep looking around, but I really didn't want to team with him. Like, I didn't know who he was. He wasn't doing very well. Like, he was just kind of low level.
You knew every good person in the country. Now, let's say I was as good as I was, which I'm not. You don't know who can beat you. You can go into a tournament and lose to someone whose name you don't know because there's just so much skill, and also the spectrum is wider and there's more notches along the way.
Instead, when I show up, he money matched. He asked me for a money match.
We were playing money matches. He wants to money match me.
I was notorious for money matching literally everybody. I don't care how good you are. I don't care if you can. I don't care if you're PC Chris. I don't care if Isaiah. I'll money match you $5.
Yeah, he literally money matched everyone in the community for $5. Everyone. And when he started coming to, or at MLG 2006, the opener, this Hugs face is a great pause. The MLG 2006 opener, he actually started winning like the vast majority of his money matches, where I don't think he really used to before that.
I messed him up.
I creamed him, and I said, again, your money boss, creamed him again. I was like, I think you need to let some of the people...
He asked me to money match. I was like, who is this guy?
He intentionally knew at first he was going to lose a lot of them.
Choose
But you
interview
have to
segments.
factor in the money. He was paying maybe $5 or whatever it was to get matches with the best players, and they were going to be taking it more seriously than they would in friendlies, where they almost never play seriously and almost always sandbag.
And he goes, okay, we'll rematch again. It's like, all right, sure. Like, he wants to give me more money, that's fine with me. Next event, it was an MLG.
He had a chance to play them and get to learn their styles and see what it was they were doing and figure out why he was losing.
And I was like, wow, I'm starting to get better.
I love this part because he plays it.
He just started improving exponentially every time he would play.
And it was down to the wire, it was down to the last hit. And I was just thinking, this kid is hitting fucking good. I wouldn't be surprised if he beat me in tournament at that point.
So good, dude. Shout out to KDJ's violin playing ability. Gerudo Valley is one of my favorite video game themes of all time.
I saw him starting to annihilate people like Neo and chillin' in money matches and just like destroy them, and they were like, what the hell? Who is this kid?
Alright, to be fair, he didn't destroy me. But he did 2-0 me, I think.
I can't even keep up with them.
Kind of turned from feeling sorry for him to kind of having a lot of respect for him, because he was willing to get his ass beat. Ever since then, I wasn't even close.
I love how this list is like, I'm pretty sure Samox just made this list up of the names being crossed out, but it's like a power rankings of the time or something. It's very inaccurate, by the way.
At every tournament, he had the plan of, in the end, becoming the best.
I felt like me and KDJ instantly got along. I mean, I feel like I have a lot of rivals, but me and Korean DJ are another rivalry, because like New York versus Boston, we got that going on. I hung out with him the most out of like the other professional players, and definitely had a great time hanging out with him. He's a good guy. They had 5 normal tournaments, like regional tournaments, like one in New York, one in Texas, then Chicago, one in Florida, and then one in
Chicago.
And then they had a playoff in New York.
Was
and
a
the final in
crazy
Las Vegas,
tournament.
And that was like the 2006 lineup.
I'll talk
All
about
the
it when-
regional ones were $2,000 for first place. For New York playoffs, first place was $5,000. The finals in Vegas was $10,000.
I didn't have any trouble winning locals, but I also just didn't get too much like pleasure out of it. H2O was pretty much dead. Azen wasn't playing. I started to think, you know, okay, maybe I should retire as well, like Azen is. But Azen decided to come back. He was really excited about it. He was like, okay, you know, now that there's this point system and shit, like let's see what we can do, given that we've already missed a couple events. So we go to Chicago.
This is JV. I'm checking in with Jeff.
MLG Chicago was an incredible tournament.
Match of Isaiah and Azen.
You know, the crazy thing about Azen is he had just come back from a hiatus, but he was already, like, his goal was first, period. When Azen would take retirements, it seemed to like clear his mind when it came to Smash, and he would come back even better somehow, even though he hadn't been playing at all.
It's funny because it's true. This literally is what changed the entire MLG season, is Azen beating PC at MLG Chicago. Because if that hadn't happened, it almost definitely would have been PC and Ken in the finals again. But this just changed everything up. I think that's Hugs' brother right there in the red behind Azen. He came to a lot of the
We're live
MLGs.
here. We got a big match here. We got Mewtwo King versus Azen. We're down to the
Okay, so let me set the stage for this match and why it upsets me so. I actually did really well in singles at MLG Chicago. I beat among the people I beat were Wife, KDJ. I beat KDJ 3-0, which I was like, wow, damn, KDJ's like really good, but I 3-0'd him somehow. So, because I was already used to underperforming in singles, so I didn't expect to do super well, but maybe that's why I did so well. Anyway, I beat Wife, I beat KDJ, I beat Hugs. I 3-0'd Hugs with Samus, which I still give him shit for till this day because I 3-0'd him with like a character I barely even used. But I 3-0'd Hugs with Samus. And then I forget who I beat right before M2K, but it was someone else good at the time. Some other like fairly good player. But then I go up against M2K. M2K, there were no bans, stage bans at the time, I believe. So M2K beat me on Final Destination. I think he won the first match on a neutral stage, which ended up deciding the set because he won the first match on a neutral, then I won on my counter pick with platforms because M2K's Fox literally just went for chain grabs constantly in Fox Dittos. That was his entire MO. I mean, it still kind of is, but, you know, back then it was literally like robotic the way he went for chain grabs. So I beat him on a platform stage, game 2. He beat me on FD. I beat him on a platform game, stage 4. And then he took me to Mute City, which I was just so blown about. I was like, wow, you get like a second FD, and now you're just going to chain grab me to death again. And I took him to last stock, last hit, but he still beat me on Mute City. And if I had won, I would have played Azen. Azen probably would have beat me, and then who knows what would have happened the rest of that tournament. I think Azen would have got to finals against Ken, would have been insanely hype, but instead we get this.
It's really looked like Azen's got some momentum going in that last match, and let's see how long he carries it over here. Some nice combos by Mewtwo King. He pulled off, let me think if I can recall real quick, 2 up airs, a back air, a neutral air, and then an up smash, and that was a beautiful stock by Mewtwo King.
When he first came out, I despised him. He represented everything terrible about the Smash community. Like I was saying earlier about how cool it was when we found out about DA and that they're not just these basement-dwelling nerds, M2K was that basement-dwelling nerd. Especially when he started to get good is when I really had a problem with him because I didn't want this guy to be the face of Smash. For that reason, I was kind of mean to him for a while, Which,
okay, to be fair, all of this is ironic, because obviously I was super fat, and I wasn't a good face for Smash either. I was kind of nerdy as well, etc.
It was kind of baseless, you know, just the fact that he looks like a nerd.
So, yeah, and to expand on that, something I didn't really go over in the documentary, it wasn't really just the fact that he looked like a nerd or whatever. The reason I didn't like M2K personally was because I didn't like the fact that you could seemingly have no natural talent for the game, but just put in so many hours that you get good anyway. To me, like the idea that there is this natural talent, there's a reason that you just pick up the game and you're good at it, like you're meant to play it kind of thing. I felt like that was a really cool aspect of the game, that, you know, there's people like Ken and Azen and PC and Chu that just have this crazy natural knack for the game. M2K never had that at first, so that was really my main qualm with M2K, was that he didn't seem to have the natural talent, but he just put in the raw time to get good, which obviously, thinking back, that's a really flawed mentality. Like, if you put in the time to get good without having the natural talent, then that's like almost more impressive. You know, it's really respectable that you put in that work. So I was still flawed in that reasoning as well, but I think that that's something I didn't go over in the documentary that really felt like why I had a problem with M2K more so than just the fact that he looked like a nerd.
I was just trying to do his best to get Mewtwo onto a platform, because that's when he can really do some heavy-duty combos right there.
He knows he can't afford to, and that looks like it will end it. And a nice victory by Mewtwo King, takes it 3-1 over Azen.
He beat Azen, and, you know, that ended Azen's tournament, and Azen would have had Chu and then Ken. And I feel like, you know, even if Azen hadn't...
To expand on that point, I think that a lot of the reason that back then my mentality was like that was because I wasn't willing to put in the time to get to... I did not have... I never used to practice tech skill back in the day, and I regret it, obviously, because who knows, I could have been one of the, you know, people winning MLGs and stuff if I had put in that time back then, but I really didn't have the devotion, like the work ethic to do it. So I mean, it was partially like probably some kind of, like, you know, jealousy of the fact that he was able to put that much time in to get that much better. So
beat Ken, that would have been an incredible finals, and he definitely would have beat Chu.
And that will do it. Ken takes the victory in another first-place victory, knocks to his belt.
I think Chu that was feeling so much pressure where you just sort of just collapse and just not take anymore, just want to give up and just go back and fly back home to Virginia. He felt like he was being pushed to the end of the wall in the house because of things that probably affected Ken O'Malley-Clad's performance.
Oh snap, sub hype!
I couldn't try my best.
Thank you so much, Shrap Knight.
Because I felt as if they would kick me out of the house.
Okay, and this part is super messed up, and I want to talk about it briefly. But thank you so much to the homie Shrap Knight for subscribing. Oops. I'm going to go ahead and update the sub goal here. Only 3 more subs until an amiibo is given away to a random subscriber who has not won one yet. So thank you so much for the sub. Okay, so let me rewind a little bit here.
I think
Oh, and to correct myself from earlier, there actually was a second MLG finals played on the main stage, and it was Chicago, and MLG was really upset about it because Chu went like Game & Watch a couple times, I think, even though he almost beat Ken. It was very clear that there was some collusion going on, so MLG was upset about it, and then I'm not sure, but it's possible that that had something to do with Melee not being on the main stage after that, but I think it was more like scheduling issues.
Because of things that probably affected Ken O'Malley-Clad's performances in tournaments.
I couldn't try my best during tournaments because I felt as if they would kick me out of the house. And I didn't want that because I was dating Helen. So I kind of held back.
It's like, I don't know what to do with myself. Like, I love Ken's sister, I love my girlfriend, and also I love like Ken O'Malley-Clad, but they're pushing me so hard that I don't know what to do with myself anymore. What should I do? Do I go home? Do I stay here? I don't feel comfortable anywhere. Because
it's extremely sad. This part is so sad to me because if Chu had never pledged his allegiance to the West Coast, in my opinion, he would have his own episode. He would be in this documentary. It might be 10 episodes long or something. He would have his own episode. He would have won multiple MLGs in 2006, probably tournaments before and after that too. It really hindered his career, the fact that every time he met Ken in tournament, he just gave it to him, and it's for the reasons already outlined here. But it's sad to think about because I know how much like natural talent and ability Chu has for this game. I know how good he was at this time. Like, he could have won multiple MLGs. He could have won everything that year, honestly, if his motivation was a little different. So pretty sad to think about.
I don't have my East Coast connection anymore, and my West Coast connection is in tatters right now.
Should have stuck with Asin chilling.
Yes, you should have too.
You know how I wrote down that list of people to beat. Ken was at the top.
When I first saw Korean DJ, I would just hear someone say money match, money match, money
Damn
match.
Cactuar,
He was
long
the
hair.
like final like goal and achievement.
Stupid sexy
alongside
cactus.
with being the best ever.
He must have chugged like 6 Red Bulls or something before he went to a tournament because the guy was like hyper.
MLG Orlando, winners semis. I have never played as well as I did in MLG Orlando against Ken.
I never saw this match, unfortunately.
I was
I wish
starting
I'd
to
seen
do
it.
things with Sheik that I never thought was possible. DVD popped open, said it was full in the middle of my match against Ken, so I wasn't able to keep it. There's certain things that I was doing with Sheik that I never did again, and I wanted to see what was I doing.
He was just very, very aggressive and very hyper. It comes to a point where you have to be really defensive against that or be more hyper and aggressive. And I was right in the middle of that, so I guess his style pretty much countered my style.
I'm so in the zone, and I defeated him.
I could read him. I mean, he was an open book, but it doesn't mean anything you can read a book if every single time you turn the page you get a paper cut or something like that, you know?
Like the entire crowd just went uproaring, they were going crazy, and I just felt like I just won the tournament. And I played against Azin's Marth. I beat Ken's Marth. I got this. I lost. I beat Ken's Marth. I lost to Azin.
Within the pros.
Azin, like I said, Azin's return to MLG just threw everything like off the table as far as like predicted results for after MLG Anaheim and New York was the opener, and then I think Dallas was next. No. Yeah, Dallas and then Anaheim, right? And then Chicago. Chicago was the 4th event. That's when Azen came back, and he like made everything crazy. It was Chicago, and then Orlando was the 5th event, and Azen had these crazy upsets of people that people would never have predicted Azen to beat, like PC and KDJ, especially after KDJ just beat Ken.
I mean, certain people did better.
But he got 3-0'd by Azen Smarth after 3-0ing Ken Smarth.
Mew2King is perfect. He plays the game perfectly. And so when you play the game perfectly against someone who's really, really smart, it doesn't matter. Think about Mew2King versus Azen. Azen makes the right choice. Let's say Azen makes the right choice every time. Then Mew2King, all he has to do is think about what the next step would be to combat the right choice, because he's a computer. Input information, what's the winning combination, done. So Mew2King
This
can
part
beat
is funny.
Azen. Let's say Azen fights Korean DJ. Now, Korean DJ is a ball of white-hot flame. Okay, Azen is not phased by that. Azen is cool as a cucumber. Azen is what it is. He just sees the game. So when Korean DJ goes nuts with all his craziness, Azen can just dash back.
This rock paper scissors situation cracks me up.
So
Computer beats winter, and winter beats fire, and fire beats computer. Just
Azen can be Korean DJ. Have a Korean DJ with all his fire, Mew2King can't combat that. Mew2King doesn't know. Those coordinates do not compute. You can't put in Korean DJ what he's going to do because he's learning as he goes. So Korean DJ can beat Mew2King.
Computer always beats fire. Computer always beats winter, dude.
In the same exact matchup and dominated him. Chu came all the way back through losers and beat KDJ in losers finals, and then that set up Azen versus Chu.
Azen actually already beat Chu that early this tournament with Cap Falcon.
Oh,
I think was that a 3-0?
It was a 3-0.
It was 3-0, yeah.
I heard about it.
Chu was really looking to win this because Chu had not won an MLG.
How do I feel about the computer robot title? I actually think it's a great way of describing Mew2King's playstyle, to be perfectly honest. It's very similar to like the way an AI would play it, a super good advanced AI, obviously, but
all year he's been getting the second to Ken regularly.
I can see Azen taking this life off, but it's going to be hard.
But Chu really good with that sidestep. Oh, really nice sidestep and finally got him.
All right, we got a lot of applause going on for Chu.
Yeah, it seems the majority of the people here for Chu, even though Chu's West Coast and this is an East Coast tournament.
It's just so hard, and like there goes his stop.
You guys hear me in the background? I would not shut up.
By himself.
All that crowd that you hear is just
Jesus.
chilling.
I was by the commentators table like freaking
I was a little obnoxious back in the day. I have no problem admitting
down
that.
3-1 to choose Ice Climbers on Stadium.
Down right now, 3-1.
God, I'm so loud, dude.
Brought it back and won.
And that's a good Chief, and then Azen wins the tournament.
Just won
And Jones hugging Azen.
All right.
A few months earlier, I was considering possibly quitting or whatever.
That was a little
and now,
much.
Like, we're back on top, so it was sweet.
Fortunately, there's a loser, and Chu looks really disappointed right now. You want everyone to be friends after the match, and you just hope Chu doesn't take it any personally.
Towards the end of the MLG season.
So quickly to discuss that, the backstory of Azen seemingly randomly using Falcon against Chu after going Marth against everyone. One night, Azen and Chu were practicing, and Azen just happened to pick Falcon against Chu's Ice Climbers at one point, and apparently they money matched for $1. And then Azen's Falcon happened to beat Chu's Ice Climbers, and Azen's like, whoa, this is weird, like, you know, Isaiah usually loses to you every time, so it's weird that I feel like Falcon actually has kind of a good matchup on Ice Climbers. Chu's like, whatever, double or nothing. Azen wins again. Chu's like, no, fuck that, double or nothing. This goes on. Apparently, Chu ended up owing Azen like several $100,000 that night, starting from a $1 money match of Falcon versus Ice Climbers, because Falcon actually has a really good match on Ice Climbers, and I guess no one realized it at the time because Chu always beat Isaiah so soundly. So Chu still to this day owes Azen several $100,000. So
Didn't place very well, so it was all kind of shaken up in my head. I didn't know what was going on. I started off first, got third at Dallas, second at Anaheim, fifth at Chicago, which was my lowest placing at the time. And then at Orlando, I finished 13th. which was the last one before New York. I lost to Hugs, which honestly, he's always been someone I've struggled versus, and he knows that, and I know that.
He's one of the few really, really good players that I was able to beat, and that's probably what made a big part of my success as a player, is that I have that ability. Skill-wise, yes, he was better than me. He seemed to have problems with me, so I greatly enjoyed playing.
This is episode 6, Beta Clay.
Like, oh, I'm not good anymore, like, or I'm not going to be placed in top 3, because even though I might not believe it, like, subconsciously I'm really thinking.
Yeah, Milkman,
like,
basically the same
it's not
thing.
a good idea. The playoffs, there's less field of players because it's a sponsored tournament. It's not based on like player attendance.
The way singles was structured, you had to have like
What up,
points
Wes?
to get in. If you weren't top 7
Oh shit,
in points, there was
is that
only
you,
one
Wes?
spot left to get into that final bracket.
What's
And
good, dude?
We all knew it was going to be Asin.
Congratulations to Ozin, our level 1 champion. Right now we got a big matchup coming. We got Ken versus Ozin at Station 1. Ken
Okay, so to talk about this match, I missed it. We were staying at PC Chris's house. He was housing us. It was about an hour from the tournament, and basically, me, Kaiser, and Chinesa, I think, were the people that just decided, you know what? Let's just stay back. We don't have to play in singles, so let's just hang out. Like, as in, there was an open bracket, and then like a level 1 bracket that the winner. Basically, the way it worked was the top 7 players in points throughout the MLG season were automatically guaranteed a spot into this final bracket at the playoff event. So that was Ken, Isaiah, Chu, PC, KDJ, M2K, and Hugs. And then there was a level 1 bracket, which the next, like, I don't know, 7, maybe the next 7 players in points rank were guaranteed a spot into this level 1 bracket. And then everyone else was in an open bracket. So out of this huge open bracket, only one person was getting into the level 1 bracket, and then out of the level 1 bracket, only one person was getting into the final bracket. And the final bracket was the only one that had money, so it was just like this crazy gauntlet. But I feel like everyone knew, like, oh, Asin's just going to win the open, he's going to win level 1, he's going to be the one getting in. And lo and behold, that's what happened.
The first round was just...
But since we weren't participating, like, in that part of the singles, we just decided, let's just stay, get some extra sleep. But because of that, I was not there in person to watch this, so...
Full of these ridiculous matchups, but obviously the most ridiculous was Ken versus Asin, because Ken was 1 seed, Asin was 8 seed, since he was the one that had won the spot.
This is OmniGamer reporting from MLG New York 2006 playoffs.
Yeah, and this
My
is,
homie Wes,
right
what's
here,
good, dude?
commentating with OmniGamer. Now, this is probably the biggest matchup of the season, and quite possibly also the biggest matchup of this tournament here, because as many people believe, this head-to-head confrontation may very well determine the outcome of the entire tournament today.
I haven't done anything yet for the Armada episode, but I want to soon. Yeah, Zedmo. I missed a bunch of stuff, but I was there for a lot of stuff too. And obviously I watched this video as soon as it came out, and I heard about it, and I just... Well, I'll tell about what happened after it's over. Good stuff, Wes. Yeah, Wes stream would be mad entertaining, for sure.
The blue mark and the red mark, they've always meant one thing.
Yeah, perfection. PC Chris was super chill.
He was the new Asin, he was our hope recently.
Exactly.
And now Asin's back.
This match is so ridiculously good.
Ozin seems a little unsettled right now. He's behind in matches and then behind in percent of this one.
Arguably the best player in the world at that time, and you're down 3 stock to 1 and about to lose a set if you drop that match. You know, it's not even the deciding match, but, you know, he didn't have any more matches to give.
If Ken wins this one, it's over.
So crazy, dude.
For this set, Ozin would have to fight his way all the way through losers to have another rematch.
Difficult losers bracket, that's for sure. Yeah, I'll put Asin to come back and see Ken again. I will, but it's going to be really difficult. And that's going to have to play his top of his game consistently for several matches in a row. Oh, no. That's it. Oh, my fault. He gets back on. Came back. Just barely.
Wife counting Azen out too early.
Oh, Azen got a 10.
It's the mark that it's all going to be about grabs here. Ken gets the first.
Ken has the lead, but Azen can come back with a combo.
Why did I have such a hard time against Azen?
Wow.
Azen is probably the most adaptive player in the world.
I think you're going to grab it. Might have a chance.
And he played me so much that he just learned my style inside and out.
There it is.
Here it is.
Uh-oh.
Use it, Azen. Keep guessing.
If Ken makes a mistake right there,
This tipper, hold on. This tipper is the craziest tipper in the history of Smash. In the history of competitive Smash. Look at this tipper. Hold on, I'm gonna pause it. I'm gonna pause it when it comes up, because y'all will see the ridiculousness.
Uh-oh.
Use it, Azen. Keep guessing.
If Ken makes a mistake right there,
Here it is. Okay, look at this. There's no way that forward smash is gonna hit that red Marth, right? No way. Look how far he is.
Get tippered in the...
Oh, that's a tipper.
Ken made a mistake by jumping so early.
Oh my god!
Oh! And Azen pulls it off!
Oh, yeah!
Azen at like 130 on his last stock just brought it back.
This tipper,
It was the
dude.
greatest comeback, in my opinion, of all time. People will
The
point to videos where
craziest
there's a stock difference
tipper.
of a greater comeback, but when Azen beat Ken and that Marth Ditto, that was out of control.
And then
It wasn't... The reason this is the greatest comeback of all time, it wasn't just the stock difference. It was a mental comeback of years of Ken besting Azen in every tournament they've ever been in. And now you made it through this giant open bracket, you made it through level 1 bracket, and then you end up playing Ken first round due to the seeding. Ken was first seed, obviously, and Azen was the 8th seed in that final level 2 bracket because he was the one that came out of the open bracket. And the fact that you're down 2 matches to 1, 3 stocks to 1, against this guy who's always beaten you, always been the best player, always been the guy keeping you from being that best player. It was a mental comeback just as much as it was a 3 stock to 1 insane gameplay comeback.
ended up 2 stocking him last round, so he won pretty solidly. So that alone remains the only time Azen's ever bested Ken in a tournament, ever. And the fashion that he did it in, that's one hell of a way to break a mental block, let me tell you that. KDJ beats M2K, so that sets up Ken versus M2K, first round of losers.
Okay, so this is crazy too, but I wanted to talk about something I just remembered from the level 1 bracket. There was a Jigglypuff player who is lesser known and lesser mentioned in the documentary, called King. And King was a really good Jigglypuff player from California. He was in DBR, so some of you guys might know him from the DBR combo videos. But he was really, really good. Probably the best Jigglypuff main of MLG era for sure. And King actually beats Azen's Marth game 1 of the level 1 bracket. I think he was his first round matchup of the level 1 bracket, which is the next best players after the first 7. So Azen, after losing with Marth against King's Jigglypuff, which at the time was considered in Marth's favor, Azen goes Falcon, beats King, so it's 1-1. Azen then goes Falco, beats King again, so it's 2-1, and then Azen, after winning 2 matches with different characters, goes Sheik game 4 and beats King again. So he switched characters each round after winning, after losing with Marth game 1, his main, won with 3 different characters against King, who was the best Jigglypuff man at the time. It was just hilarious, so random. But
Ken loses.
Another thing I wanted to talk about, which is unfortunate, is that the documentary covers teams for the first couple episodes. They talk about Ken and Isaiah's dominance and everything. Unfortunately, there's no teams coverage beyond that, really. And MLG Chicago, I meant to talk about this during the MLG Chicago phase, but I'll talk about it now briefly. MLG Chicago was actually the first time in the history of Melee that Ken and Isaiah lost a teams tournament, and it was to me and Azen in the grand finals, which obviously is symbolic because of the rivalry there. But at MLG NYC opener, PC and Wes took a set off of Ken and Isaiah in teams winners finals, and that was the first set Ken and Isaiah had ever lost in teams. So that's obviously a big deal. But Ken and Isaiah did bring it back in grand finals of that team's tournament. But then, like I said, a few tournaments later at MLG Chicago, the first loss of Ken and Isaiah's career, the first non-win of their tournament career in teams was against me and Azen in the grand finals. And after that, it's not really discussed here again, but Azen and I sort of started a little bit of a dominant streak. MLG Orlando, Ken and Isaiah did beat us, but then MLG NYC playoffs here, Ken and Isaiah lost to 2 other teams. I believe PC and King was one of them, because that's who Azen and I played in grand finals, was PC and King. But Ken and Isaiah actually didn't even get to grands against us, and Azen and I ended up taking teams here too. So I wish there was a little more teams coverage, since there was that teams coverage at the beginning. But Azen and I definitely had a little bit of a dominant streak from MLG Chicago to the following year, when we won Super Champ combo, including taking out Mango and Lucky.
It wasn't fun anymore. Pretty much, like, it became like a job more so than, you know, actually playing the game and having fun. I was getting older. I was traveling way too much. I don't think my body could take it as much. Like, at first, my prime days, like when I first started.
Yeah, guys, I'll put it on YouTube. I promise.
Hours and hours.
Everyone's been requesting.
Without even sleep.
I will do it.
Straight playing Smash. After 2-3 years
I'm gonna take multivitamins and fish oil because I forgot to. Oh damn it! I'm out of water.
And there's people out to get you, gunning for you. Just like that's what they want to do. Just beat you.
All right, no Johns, Ken.
All those emotions, all that stress, just like compiled, and then having like Chillin' Dude or whatever yelling in my ear next to me, I couldn't handle it anymore.
Sorry, Ken.
Props to
Sorry,
him for
brah.
and stuff for free stock, but I mean, at that time and moment, I was just like, I think I needed a break.
Well, we should also congratulate the East Coast hero Azen, who took out his West Coast nemesis Ken on his road to his very first Major League Gaming Smash Singles Championship. We're here at MLG.
That wasn't his first championship. I guess I don't know what they mean by that, because that's not the case. Oh damn! 700 viewer hype.
Just won the Smash
Thank you.
Event. Azen, congratulations, man. How'd you do it?
Thank you. Oh, I just went all Marth. Marth for me is just, you can be so easily creative with them, and he has a very cheap spike, get very good kills, and
As his interviews crack me up, dude.
I don't know, he's just really easy to use.
All right, well, this makes 2 tournaments in a row for you, shooting for 3 in Las Vegas.
Yeah, I hope so.
All right, well, congratulations, and we'll see you in Vegas.
MLG Las Vegas. So we have here the epitome of MLG. We were at the Red Rock
Siren.
Casino. This hotel was gorgeous. Chandeliers, but
What's good,
tasteful
Siren?
chandeliers. Fantastic food. The shower had a mirror, so you could watch yourself shower, or presumably watch yourself have sex with the hooker. Vegas, baby.
Oh god.
We flew there on MLG's dime. We took a taxi on MLG's.
What do I think of Ken as both a player and a person? He was obviously an amazing player. Oh god, this is the worst pause. I was so fat. Look at how much of the limo I take up. Good god. But I felt so badass taking a limo. Damn, that backpack. Oh my god, I remember that backpack. Okay, sorry, that's random. But, no, Ken was one of the best players, like, ever, obviously. And his ability to, like, adapt to different, like, styles thrown at him and stuff is really what makes him so impressive. Like, Azen has a really good adaptive ability, but it was different. Like, Ken had, like, this killer instinct to, like, not only adapt to the opponent's style, but he would, like, figure out how to counter it, like, instantly. So
there, stayed in the hotel that MLG paid for, so everyone there already feels like a pro.
It was a very unusual tournament. It was very small. I think top 8 only bracket. So being in Vegas, it meant that only a few spectators could turn up, and all of them were from the West Coast. So the Ken Alliance turned up again, which is about 12 people. And a few of the East Coasters turned up with their support crew and stuff like that. So I think husband and wife were there, JB was there obviously. It was very intimate sort of finals.
I was thinking at the time, like, I think this is probably going to be my last tournament. My fire is about to burn out. I got to try. I definitely know I can I could compete and beat these guys.
I try to just narrow it down to matchups that I liked and that I didn't like. And the only two people I wanted to avoid was Hugs and Azin.
My whole life was to win the MLG Lost Championships. Because that pretty much means you won everything.
Yeah, I mean, all things considered, this was probably the most important tournament of Smash up until, like, recently, like, EVO 2013 and stuff. Like, EVO 2013 and 2014 are probably the most important tournaments in Melee history now. But at the time, and up until, like, the past couple years, the Vegas Championships were probably the biggest deal. Because it was just this entire MLG season, which was easily the most hype, like the most attendance, the most I don't know, the most new blood. Like, it was just the greatest circuit that had ever been accomplished in Melee history, and it led up to this one event where only 8 players were qualified. So shout out to Hugs, by the way. No offense to Hugs, but he basically got qualified for MLG finals the same way that Soft did this year, which was by going to every qualifier. So no offense to Hugs, he's really good, but I think he only placed top 8 in the qualifiers like once or twice. He was just the most consistent attendee. But obviously Hugs was a really good player and everything. I'm not knocking him at all. I was probably on the same level as Hugs at the time. So, but that's basically the reason that Hugs isn't really on the same level as everyone else that made the grand finals. Okay, and then I think I've told this story during. Oh wait, this is Azin versus Chu. Oh, okay. They didn't show Isaiah versus Chu, I guess, but I've told this story before. But Isaiah and Chu, I think Chu was 2nd seed and Isaiah was 7 seed because of his consistent sandbagging throughout the year. They played each other round 1, and Isaiah had never taken a game off of Chu, as far as I know, in tournament before, but he went into the MLG Las Vegas Championships thread on Smashboards and posted, "I'm gonna beat Daniel," just out of the blue for no reason, and he always referred to his people by their first names too, which is why that was extra funny. But he 3-0'd Chu after never, and this was when Chu had first discovered wobbling. As you can see here, we were all like, "Oh my God, Chu's gonna win this tournament! Like, have you guys seen this broken technique called wobbling? Like, this is over." Like, I guess it wasn't quite as broken as we initially thought, but Chu was wobbling a lot at this tournament. But he lost to Isaiah and then Azin 2 Falcons, so. And that's the reason Azin was in loser so early, is because he lost to PC round 1, which was another rough matchup. I think that was 3 versus 6, which is funny that Azin passed Isaiah in points by just going to like 2 events, because he played so well at them. No, it was called wobbling back then, I think, actually. Because we had already heard of Wobbles, the player, and that the fact that he was the one that popularized the technique. To be fair though, Wobbles was not relevant as a player for a long time aside from discovering wobbling. And then this, unfortunately, right here, Azin.
Congratulations to Ken.
I think he lost 3-1 to Ken.
DJ knew right away. He's ready to go.
Yeah.
He was just like that
He was
last
angry.
night.
He's hungry.
There was no way KDJ was going to lose this set to Ken, in my opinion. He was just so much hungrier for the win than Ken was.
You guys like caged animals, just taking turns running train on each other.
The edge guard continues.
DJ's in control. Ken's in
Ken's
control.
back.
He's trying not to die.
This might be it.
Oh my god.
Oh, the
It's
cloud's
still
coming.
alive.
Here comes the cloud.
I could change it.
Ooh.
Oh my god.
That picture of KDJ cracks me up.
Like I was like, all right, this is my tournament.
This is my dream.
This was a crazy grand finals. Fox versus Falco. Already showing the direction the game was going. Just a quick aside here. At the beginning of MLG 2006 season, the New York opener, I remember Andon was there. I don't know if you guys remember him from the first couple episodes. Sort of one of the lost members of H2IL or whatever. He was Azin's old teammate, Azin's best friend when they were kids. Basically, Andon made a prediction at that MLG, which kind of came true. I thought he was just being like overly dramatic and stuff, but he was like, man, Mewtwo King is changing the game. Like, I feel like Fox is just going to be untouchable. Like, no one is going to have a reason to play any character other than Fox. So, shout out to Andon for the early 20XX prediction, but it's funny to see that it started coming to fruition pretty quickly.
There it is, the up smash. PC has won.
Congratulations to PC Chris. He came in at the beginning of the season, stunned everyone by beating Ken.
Crazy
Now
stuff.
Everyone else. He's going to take home $10,000 and be crowned the national champion of Super Smash Brothers.
It was almost like a body high. Like, I just felt great the entire day. I never wanted to be the best player. That was never my goal. But just like putting my time into something and seeing like these great results, and like I couldn't believe like from this game that I picked up with my friends that I able to accomplish something like this.
I was set on third. I was like, I'm happy. I'll take third.
When he got third and when he didn't become the best player anymore, he's like, you know what, that's okay. I can retire pretty happy because I know that I've done a lot in my time and was during a pretty, I guess, a golden era of Smash. So even to this day, he'd still be called the king of Smash just because he dominated during that era.
I felt like a huge weight was lifted off my shoulders. Like, I can just be happy.
I was just like one game away from being the champion. I couldn't go to sleep for about 4 days.
Probably pretty sad.
It hit me hard when I had lost.
I don't talk to
Like, it really
PC
hit
too
me
much
hard.
anymore now, unfortunately.
I beat Mewtwo King, I beat Ken, and I got the PC Chris. For some reason, I couldn't beat him. I couldn't beat him. I was so close. And I have to wait another year?
But unfortunately that didn't happen because of this. And to briefly discuss this, the reason why this happened, unfortunately, was because Nintendo was not willing to work with MLG. And that's a sad fact, especially considering now Nintendo is very supportive of the competitive scene. Back then, they were not nearly as supportive. They refused to let MLG televise anything Melee related. They also weren't big fans of the fact that MLG streamed it either. So that actually is why MLG dropped Melee after the 2006 season. They did continue to try to support us because shout out to MLG, they love Smash. They're just fans of Smash. They like the way it plays or whatever. They had a lot of fun having us on the circuit and everything. They tried to support a grassroots circuit for the following year, for 2007, which was basically grassroots events that people hosted, like noted tournament organizers and hosts, and MLG would just throw a pop bonus, throw some points in there, and make it like a circuit. It just wasn't the same though. Having this actual hype event that you show up to and it feels like a convention where there's just like all these people for all types of games and it just feels it's a really hype environment. you know, grassroots Smash tournaments don't have that the same way. So it wasn't quite the same, but shout out to MLG for at least trying to help us in any way they could at that point.
If I had to pick my favorite Smash player of all time, it would no doubt be Korean DJ. For me, he's the spirit
Wife talk.
of Smash.
Let's let White
He
talk.
has this fire in him that's fantastic to watch. Once in an interview, he said that he played the game like a freestyle rap. It was different for him, and you could see it in game. I mean, in high-level tournament matches, you can see him trying new things and learning as he goes. I don't think anyone ever wanted to take a stock so badly in their life. I don't think anyone ever just hated the character, not the person, the character. He was like, I need to just take these stock and just destroy them. And it's that kind of mentality, that personality that drove him to fly off the ledge farther than people ever had, and just ledge guard in a way that was just rude. Beautiful to watch. My favorite player of all time.
Do I talk to any of the DA guys still? Yeah. I saw Wes and Dave at KTAR recently.
It was 1, 2,
That was
3,
fun.
that's it. First stop, gone. I just rage quit. I said I couldn't do it.
When I saw that Marth, I was like, he's going to be the best player in the world.
Unless you're frame perfect, you're not good enough.
He's in that Rain Man world. Michi King can, in fact, recite many, many, many digits of pi.
Almost positive he just didn't understand the concept of paying for something in a store.
A lot of them felt like Brawl was intentionally made to not be a competitive game, which is true.
It's like something broke in his brain, and he forever has a mind block.
Yeah, I'll put these on YouTube, guys. So the M2K episode, I don't think I'm gonna do that one tonight.
PC. Wait, not even PC. M2K and KDJ, so many letters.
After that, like a week later,
PCK,
OC2 comes
M2K,
along, and me
KDJ.
and ManaCloud, we get second at that tournament in teams. And, you know, I don't know, it's like every time me and ManaCloud fight, it's like, you know, we do really, really well in teams.